Hi, I'm Danny Gonzalez with Bayer Crop Science. I represent Bayer on Delta Pine, Asgrow, and DeKalb hybrids, and today I want to talk to you about our sorghum hybrids for the Rio Grande Valley and the Coastal Bend. So we'll get started here. Our first variety here is 3607. I know many of you have been anxiously waiting for a good replacement for 3707. So we do have one that we're going to offer next year. It's a real promising new hybrid for us. 3607 is a medium early. We're pretty excited about it. Very similar to 3707. Looks like 3707 with good head exertion. It's a medium early sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid. 3707 has been known for its consistency year in, year out. So we do have a new hybrid that's going to replace it in 3607. Good head exertion, good dryland variety for the Coastal Bend and out east in the Rio Grande Valley on those dryland acres. Very good head exertion. Last year it was about 600 pounds better than 3707. So very excited about 3607. We anticipate having a great supply of that next year. Here's 3707 right beside it. Like I said, many of you know this hybrid already. Very uniform, early, and very good yield potential for that medium early variety, and can handle drought tolerant areas. Very good as far as drought tolerance, good emergence, and good head exertion. We'll probably have a little bit of 3707 next year as well. 3816 is a medium early variety as well. Does not have the sugarcane aphid tolerance, but does have good head smut resistance, good head exertion, and very high yielding hybrid for us. This hybrid can go dryland or irrigated, has proven itself in that aspect. Very good disease package as well. Again, 3816. This next hybrid is 4407. We're very excited about it. It's new. It's going to work well in the dryland areas as well as irrigation areas. 4407 is a short stature plant with very good charcoal rot tolerance. Plant health is very good. Actually, 4407 was our highest yielding hybrid in our trials last year. A good mid-season sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid. It's looking very well so far this year. 4407. Our next hybrid here is 4560. 4560, one unique characteristic about it, it has sorghum downy mildew resistance. I know that's not a big problem down here in the valley or the Coastal Bend, but as you go up north into that coastal areas up there north of my territory, which is Woodsboro North, there seems to be a little bit more sorghum downy mildew problems up there, and this hybrid does contain the disease package. Last year we introduced 4660. These hybrids both have sorghum downy mildew resistance, but 4560 did out yield the 4660. So it looks like we'll have a good supply of introducing this next year, and has really worked good in the dryland areas as well, irrigated land acres as well. As we continue on, we're getting to our mid-full seasons. 5353 has been one of our leading hybrids on irrigation as well as dryland. Has very good tolerance to charcoal rot, stands up year in, year out in those drouthy areas, good head exertion, very high yielding hybrid with a good disease package. Again, mid full season. This hybrid has won a lot of yield contests in the past. It's done very well here in the Rio Grande Valley on irrigation. Now, a new hybrid that we're gonna have a good supply of next year. It's kin to the 5353, has some of the same parents in it. It's 5407, another sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid, mid to full season, has done well on irrigated as well as dryland areas. I would highly recommend this on your better type soils, It's got very good potential for high yields. Thrash is good, good test weight. Again, sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid. So I'm going to just wrap up my 3 main hybrids for this coming year that have sugarcane aphid tolerance. We've got a medium early with 3607. We've got a mid-season with 4407, and then we'll have a mid-full season with 5407. Those are going to be my 3 leading varieties for this area next year. Again, I want to thank y'all, and I want to thank y'all for your business, and hope y'all get to try some of these new sorghum hybrids next year. It's going to be very exciting. Thank you.
Well, good morning. My name's Scott Stanislav. I'm the technical agronomist for Bayer Crop Science, supporting the DeKalb, Asgrow, and Delta Pine brands across all of South Texas. Today we're here in the Rio Grande Valley, standing in front of our sorghum plot, and what I want to talk to you about today is our experimental sorghum products and kind of the testing program that we have going on here, basically to test and develop and deploy new sorghum products to the growers of South Texas. So a couple years ago, back when we were still Monsanto before the Bayer acquisition, basically our sorghum brand, or DeKalb, we joined in with Remington Seed and formed Innovative Seed Solutions, which is a group that specifically breeds and tests sorghum across the U.S. And so basically what was done was we reinvested quite a bit of money into the sorghum business to bring about new products and test products in a different way. And so that started a couple years ago, and basically the SPE program, or the Sorghum Product Evaluator Program, which was kind of tailored after our new product evaluator program in cotton. Since we've implemented that over the past couple years, we've actually deployed 5 new commercial sorghum products out into the marketplace with added traits and added yield. And so really with that reinvestment of money, basically what that's done is we've been able to look for those value-added traits, such as race 3 and 6 sorghum downy mildew resistance, as well as having molecular markers for sugarcane aphid tolerance. And so this year we've got 5 products that we're testing in these SPE plots. 4 of the 5 have value-added traits, being sugarcane aphid tolerance. And basically we've got 2 products that are maybe potentially the first to the marketplace that will have both sugarcane aphid tolerance and sorghum downy mildew race 3 and 6 resistance. So that's this product here, will be the first one. This is just an experimental number, so don't get too caught up with it, but probably a medium type early maturing hybrid. Looks really nice, this ISR 287. And then the other one that's got both the SCA, or the sugarcane aphid tolerance, and the sorghum race 3 and 6 downy mildew resistance. The other one would be this ISR 297. And so those would be first to the marketplace with those both of those races of sorghum downy mildew resistance, as well as sugarcane aphid tolerance. So we're pretty excited about that. And moving forward, I see sugarcane aphid tolerance as well as race 3 and 6 sorghum downy mildew resistance basically coming standard in a lot of these hybrids as we continue to advance new things into the marketplace. So there's been a lot of excitement around DeKalb sorghum over the past couple of years with all these new deploys and these new products we're looking at. And just wanted to say we definitely appreciate y'all's business when it comes to DeKalb sorghum, and look forward to more in the future. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about northern corn leaf blight, and basically the disease tolerance that we have in our lineup as DeKalb. So over the past couple of years, there's been a fair amount of northern corn leaf blight that has popped up in the Rio Grande Valley and across the greater South Texas area. That's been a problem for some growers, and we get a lot of phone calls about it and asking about it and whatnot. But a lot of times it tends to be problems with our competition as opposed to us. And so for us at DeKalb, we're very blessed that a lot of our hybrids have very good inherent tolerance to northern corn leaf blight. Not that you won't ever have to put out a fungicide application on a DeKalb hybrid, but more times than not, that's kind of a last resort when it comes to DeKalb products because of that genetic tolerance that we have. So us at Bayer Crop Science, we're looked at as being the biotech, the trait leaders and innovators in the row crop ag space. And so I just kind of want to update you a little bit on kind of where we're going in corn and what are the different traits that may be coming in the pipeline. So kind of the next thing that we can look forward to, doesn't have a trade name yet. It's just called HT3 corn, which is herbicide tolerance 3 corn. And so what that's going to bring is obviously glyphosate tolerance, glufosinate tolerance, as well as full season dicamba tolerance in all of our corn hybrids. And that's probably coming here within the mid to late decade. After that, we've got HT4, which is basically what I just mentioned in HT3, and then adding in 2,4-D tolerance as well as FOPS tolerance. So then the next one that I want to talk about that's coming on down the pipeline would obviously be our next suite of traits for lepidopteran pests, so any of your worm pests. Right now we're running with bringing on new Tricepta products, which is basically our VT Double Pro with the Viptera trait added on top of that. And so after that, we're obviously looking at adding new traits on top of that platform, or actually developing completely brand new traits that are specifically for corn against lepidopteran pests.
Today I want to talk to you about our corn hybrids. We've got some key hybrids, we've got some new hybrids that we'll be introducing next year. And again, I want to appreciate y'all's business this year on corn. The first hybrid here we're going to talk about is 6599. It's a 115-day hybrid. It's got the Tricepta trait for that extra earworm control. And what I mean by that, we look at these ears on the Triceptas and they're very clean. No worm damage whatsoever on the tip. We're pretty excited about Triceptas. We'll be offering this hybrid next year. I think it's going to be a great fit on dryland acres as well as irrigated acres. 6599 is going to have good bushel weight, good test weight, a good disease package as well. Pretty high on 6599. Our next hybrid here is 6629. It's a 116-day hybrid. 6629 has been a go-to hybrid here in the valley as far as irrigation and dryland. It does contain the Tricepta trait as well, and this is the ear of it, 6629. Very large kernels, very good disease package, good test weight. In fact, this hybrid is on Azteca's food corn list. It's been a go-to hybrid for us in the fall, so I would highly recommend 6629 in the fall. And the reason I do is because it has a good husk coverage, and the husk coverage protects it from rain getting into the grain. We need that tighter shuck. Bird damage is a problem, and that tighter shuck gives it some advantage as far as that goes too. Our next hybrid is 6744. It's a double pro. Pretty excited about this hybrid. It's going to be a new hybrid. I feel like it's going to be a great fit on dryland as well as irrigated. Very high yields. It's a promising variety. It looks like it might set a new yield plateau here for us. Looking at the data from the last 2 years from the breeders, looks very promising to be one of them high-end yielding hybrids for us here in the Rio Grande Valley on dryland or irrigation. Again, 6744 has a very good disease package as well. As far as northern corn leaf blight, rust, holds up very well. All right, this next hybrid is 6772, 117-day hybrid. 6772 is proven for this area. It's done exceptionally well on dryland acres. Out at Raymondville area, east of Raymondville, it's done well in irrigation. It's one that responds yet to higher plant populations, has more of a fixed ear, and has a good disease package as well. 6772 was my #1 yielding hybrid last year in the dryland. Very consistent, very good bushel weight, very good test weight, grain qualities. Looks really good on 6772. All right, we're pretty excited about this new hybrid. To have the Tricepta trait, 6999, 119-day hybrid. I think it's going to do very well in irrigation as well as dryland. As you go up the coast, this hybrid is catching a lot of attention. It's a tall hybrid. It looks very well. It's going to have a good disease package. Again, has a Tricepta trait and very good disease package as well. Good test weight. We're pretty excited about this new hybrid. Not sure how much we'll have to sell this one next year, but I'm sure I'll have enough to spread around my whole area. The last hybrid I want to talk to you about is DK C7027. 7027 is a favorite here in the Rio Grande Valley. It's a 120-day hybrid. It has the enhanced disease package, what we call disease shield. Very good disease package, very resistant to the northern corn leaf blight and rust. It kind of sets us apart from the competition with 7027. Year in, year out, you know, we hear a lot about, hey, how well it's holding up against northern leaf blight versus the X brand over here. So 7027 is very high yielding, very good bushel weight, quality is very good on 7027. It's a 120-day hybrid, as like I said, mentioned earlier. It's my #1 selling hybrid here in the Rio Grande Valley, and it keeps growing each year. We keep selling a little bit more and more every year. So 7027 it's done well in irrigation. We have a little bit on dry land as well, and it looks promising there as well. So again, thank you for your business, and hope you get to try some of these new exciting hybrids this coming year. Thank you.
Ramon Alvarez here with LG Seeds and Golden Acres Genetics. Here we have 5 hybrids in this showcase, and first one is a 2840B. It's a medium early, 59 to 62 day mid bloom. It's a sugarcane aphid tolerant, a pretty tall product, good head exertion. It also is a very open head. It's a highly tolerant for the sugarcane aphid. At times it can caution you about some lodging concerns, but that's considering the height of it. But a good medium early product that's highly competitive. Next product we have here is the Golden Acres 3020B. This is a bronze. This is a medium hybrid, about 65 to 68 day mid bloom. It is a little more tight-headed than the 2840. It's not tolerant to the sugarcane aphid. However, it definitely works well in irrigated and dry land situations. The head exertion is kind of where we want it, at a good height. Even in dry land, it does exert where we need it to. It's got a pretty good plant health for the coastal environments. The product works its way up into the north, up to Kansas. A good medium product, the 3020B. Next product that we have here is a 3960B. This is another medium product. It's a bronze. This is a sugarcane aphid, probably one of our top sellers here throughout the state of Texas in my market. It's got good head exertion, a clean look that we normally like to see without too many erratic two-talls that we call them. But 3960B has a good open head that allows air penetration and good dry down. Once again, it's a good medium product that will help you throughout your farm, and a good companion product to the 3020B if you want to share products on the farm. So another little bit earlier maturity, 65 or about the same maturity, medium 3180B. This is a new product that we just commercialized this year. It was a experimental 2900, did well for us in its experimental stages. A little bit tighter headed, but still good weathering. It's got a great aphid tolerant spectrum to it. A good head exertion even in the dry land setting. 3180B, highly encouraged for this new product to come down the pipe. And so the last product that we have here is 4880 68R. This is a red product, a medium late. It is about 69 to 72 day mid bloom. We're replacing 3696 with this product. It is it's got quite some height to it in this plot here. It also a little bit tighter headed than its our other products, the 3696, but better weatherability and a good plant health. This is a 4880R. Here I've got 5701. This is a 116 day double pro. We also offer it in a Roundup Ready for refuge or a conventional. 5701 can also be used dual purpose as a silage hybrid. It's got great grain quality, high bushel weight, 60 to 62 bushel weight. Works well in various soil types, carries itself throughout the state from down along the Rio Grande up to the Red River and even into the Panhandle and beyond. 5701 is also a silage product that works itself well, cutting high tonnage. 5701 VT2. Here we have LG 66C32. We offer this product in a Double Pro and a Smart Stacks. It's 116 day. This product is a high test weight that at the moment we are testing with Azteca in Edinburgh for a food grade corn. We see encouraging products. It has a great plant health that has the leaves can be used or a little more upright for a stronger, higher management. 66C32 is a good product for the Rio Grande Valley, up into the Winter Garden, into the Upper Coast, and the rest of the Blacklands of Texas. LG 64C30. This is a 114 day Tricepta. It's a Viptera with a Double Pro. 64C30 will work well in dryland settings, even at a low population, down to 16,000 plants, still achieving great results. The grain quality is high with a 60 to 62 bushel weight corn. The 64C30 also offers the Viptera protection for clean corn, being a Tricepta. 64C30. LG 66C28. This is a 3110. This is a new product that just came out in 2020. LG 66C28 is one of the first proprietary products that LG has to offer into the market. We're seeing encouraging results thus far. It has a good grain quality of 60 to 62 bushel weight as well. It can also be used as a dual purpose for silage in its respective markets. We are learning more about 66C28 to better position it for your farm. 66C28. LG 68C59. This is a new Duracade 5222. This product can also go dual purpose for silage. It is, as I've been learning it through the year, through the growth, we've noticed it's a more slender cob with a 14, 16 around, but a long cob with a long husk cover. And the plant health on 68C59 has been strong. The leaf pattern's a little more erect, and it's shown good height throughout. The Winter Garden, it gets extremely tall up there, about 10 feet, so we're encouraged with it. 68C59, 5222. As you can see here, we have worm on this Double Pro. We have worm damage, and if you can notice on this Viptera, it is cleaner with no earworm damage.
Howdy, my name's Travis Kidd. I'm a representative for S&W Seed. Our partner brands, Sorghum Partners, as well as Alfalfa Partners. I cover this area from the Rio Grande Valley, all through this area on up north, north of I-10 and out north of I-20. travel all the way to the Red River, carry all this area. S&W Seed originally started as an alfalfa company, two gentlemen ranchers that were looking for salt tolerance in alfalfa. Now, once we started getting, they developed their own program, R&D program for alfalfa, and found salt tolerance. And today, those hybrids are going to fit extremely well for this environment. So we have a fall dormancy 8 as well as a 9 that's actually on the back side of this property here at Texas Agriscience. Those are well known for their salt tolerance. S&W Seed purchased sorghum partners. This is actually a great example, NK300. Historically, this is one of our oldest known hybrids in the nation. This was actually produced in 1958. It's an extremely high performing hybrid. This is actually a northern and central Mexico grain sorghum hybrid, but in the north of the Rio Grande River, we use it as a forage hybrid and silage hybrid. You can tell right here I'm 6'5", but this product in areas is up to 6'5", but in the margins of the field we're approaching closer to 5 foot. So if we had higher fertility and high moisture contents, we'd be able to have a nice silage product. This is actually grown here in South Texas and the winter garden for silages. This is SP78M30. This is a high performing hybrid, sugarcane aphid tolerant. This is one of the first hybrids we discovered that was tolerant to the sugarcane aphid. Due to its background, it's closer and stronger in aphid tolerance. We have that high tolerance due to that Texas 2783 background. Texas 2783 is the public line that all of the sorghum companies source that tolerance from. 78M30 is a nice irrigated hybrid for this area of the world. It can perform well on dry land. I'd like to see it east of 77, Highway 77, and performs along the Gulf Coast, up the coastal bend, and on over to the Bay City area. SP68M57, this hybrid is our most widely known hybrid. It's most well traveled. It performs extremely well dry land and irrigated from northern Mexico all the way up into Nebraska. This is just one of those hybrids that you would really want in your lineup if you're a seed representative. You know, and so I'm very lucky to have this hybrid in our lineup. It's showing some extremely good exertion right here. It performs extremely well dry land, and this one's going to yield the best. It fits extremely well from McCook, Texas, all the way east of Highway 77. There's not very many acres that this hybrid won't go on and perform very well for. SP7715, this is also a sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid. One of the things that this one's really well known for is its exertion and height. We've known that taller hybrids tend to yield a little bit more because of, you know, these plants are essentially, you know, solar panels. So the more light that they can capture, the more yield that they can produce. Due to that height, you know, we're going to get more yield. We're also going to be able to put this under irrigated scenarios and management practices, but this can also be dry land. This is more of an eastern product, so I like to see this on the east side of Highway 77. Keep this on the east side. This travels well up the coastal bend, the El Campo area, on over through the southeast. It's known for its this hybrid's known for its anthracnose disease tolerance and resistance, and so it's actually an extremely high performing hybrid all through that area. Most grain sorghum hybrids are South Texas or High Plains hybrids, and this one has more of a tropical background with that anthracnose disease tolerance, and so it's going to be able to withhold a little bit more moist mornings. 73B12, this hybrid is actually kind of the cousin to the 7715 in terms of, if we think about you know, where 7715 performs extremely well in more humid environments, this is going to be the opposite of that. So we're actually going to not perform in the highest of humid environments. We're going to go west into more of a dry land and more arid condition. This is a medium late. This hybrid is extremely well performing under those harsh conditions, a very open head, and it's going to perform extremely well west of 77. That's just a really nice cut off that highway. We like to think of it as a little higher rainfall as you travel east of 77, and then west of that, we know that historically those rainfall numbers are going to start deteriorating south. This is going to perform extremely well in that Agua Dulce area, and over into McCook and north. So while we're out here evaluating these sorghum hybrids, we have to pay attention close to one major detail. We have a lot of different maturities of sorghum hybrids out here in this area, and all these are small plots. So one of the things you're going to realize is this is not the exact same thing as a commercial field where you have essentially one hybrid for hundreds of acres, and then your neighbor might have a different hybrid or similar genetics. We have probably 40 or 50 hybrids out here in close proximity to one another. With that being said, when it comes down to management decisions and what you're going to plant, make sure that we're looking at planting on time with a proper maturity hybrid. So if your neighbors are planting medium maturity hybrids, make sure that you're planting medium maturity hybrids within that same planting window. Once you're outside of that window and you're planting 2 to 3 weeks later, simply because of Mother Nature, it may be an opportunity for you to switch up hybrids to something that's more likely to flower at the same time as the other neighbors. This here is what happens when you have a later maturing hybrid next to some earlier maturing hybrids. So sorghum midge is able to come in and start putting pressure on these plants, and they're going to start expressing that. So that sorghum midge comes in, lays a maggot during flowering and post-flowering, and that maggot kind of eats his way out and aborts that seed. So we like to see that our grain is extremely full and we're not looking at midge damage. Also, if we're looking at midge damage and you start thinking about spraying pyrethroids to manage midge, the caveat to that, there's always a caveat. I always think about, managing our crop, there's always a trade-off. So yes, we may be able to control midge, but we're also going to control our beneficial insects that can control our sugarcane aphid populations. So just food for thought. All these hybrids are a part of what we sell here in the Rio Grande Valley, here in Willacy and Hidalgo County, and I appreciate your time.
I'm Dr. Zach Eater with Advanta Seeds, and I'm the U.S. Technology Development Manager. Today we're going to be talking about two really innovative technologies we're bringing to the grain sorghum market, as well as some really exciting products that we're introducing this coming year. So the first we want to talk about is our aphix technology. Since the introduction of the sugarcane aphid, we have seen drastic changes in how we produce grain sorghum. An Advanta's solution to that is to bring industry-leading tolerant hybrids to the marketplace. Our aphix lineup clearly designates which hybrids have the highest level of sugarcane aphid tolerance, and we feel are the industry leader in that category. Our category is led off with the AG 1203, which is our nationwide leading seller. It is an absolute phenomenal product for the South Texas market and going up throughout most of the U.S. It is a 63-day to mid-bloom hybrid with bronze grain, great yield potential through drought and on moderate irrigation. It is a product that you can trust to produce in the toughest times, as well as produce a bumper crop when the environment provides. The aphix lineup provides a very strong tolerance to the sugarcane aphid. Now, this is not a resistance, this is tolerance. So it's very important to realize that this natural occurring defense mechanism in these plants is going to slow down the infestation rate, largely prevent it, but there's still going to be some opportunities for the aphids to reproduce on it. But this is going to provide flexibility in your production cycle, give you a larger window to spray your insecticides if you need, and in not high populations, it'll allow you to get through the entire season without an insecticide application. So it's a very valuable tool that we're going to continue to expand within the Alta lineup. The next hybrid over here is a new experimental that we're introducing to this market, and that's XG9127. It is another aphid tolerant hybrid in our Aphix lineup. It is a 63-day red grain hybrid, extremely tough for tough dry land conditions, and it is going to be a top-end yielder in this dry land market. Really excited about it, and we look to broaden this early market, early hybrid market. Another hybrid we have here is ADV G2106. This is an exciting product we introduced a couple years ago. It is about a 62-day to mid-bloom hybrid. It's a little faster than many of the products on the markets, but it regularly out-yields its maturity class. It's a very tough hybrid. It has very strong Australian genetics that we've brought in through our global germplasm program that brings a lot of drought tolerance and a lot of hardiness to stand through even our toughest seasons. So when you're looking for a dry land short season hybrid, 2106 is an excellent selection for you. It'll also yield in those tough environments against some of the fuller seasons. So again, it's a moderate sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid at 62 days to mid-bloom, red grain. An exciting experimental that we have coming onto the market is the XG256. This was just advanced into our commercial lineup going into next year, so we're going to be really excited to see this one available next year. It is a 65-day to mid-bloom hybrid, exceptional yield potential. It's going to be a top 10% yield potential in this region. Outstanding yield, great standability, exceptional head size, and a moderate sugarcane aphid tolerance to it. So ADV G2275 has been a great addition to our lineup over the last couple of years for this region here from Corpus South. It is a 66-day to mid-bloom bronze hybrid that has exceptional exertion out of the flag leaf, even in tough dry land conditions. So it's one that you can trust is going to get that head out of that leaf and have very good harvestability. It has great stay green and moderate sugarcane aphid tolerance, making it an all-around package for growers in this region. This is a hybrid where we see our best agronomic performance in a population that we bump about 5 to 10% over the standards in this region. It does very well in terms of threshability. We have routinely had growers come back to this hybrid because of the way it harvests. It harvests exceptionally clean. It stands through just about any kind of conditions we've thrown it in this region, as well as having that great stay green, so its standability is phenomenal. So again, 2275 is an excellent medium hybrid for us at 66 days to mid-bloom. ADV G3189 is a medium late aphid tolerant hybrid for us. It is in our Aphix lineup. It's our full season offering for this region. 68 days to mid-bloom, bronze grain, just exceptional grain filling period. It will bloom out a little bit earlier than many of the other medium lates in this market, but its grain fill period is very long. Great exertion out of the flag leaf. It has just been a tremendous performer for us, not only here on our irrigated plot that we're looking at, but even on our dry land plots. This is a product that has just been introduced this year for the 2020 growing season. Very strong aphid tolerant. It travels exceptionally well from the border all the way up into the Kansas market. So it has a very broad adaptability and great yield potential. It's going to have a little bit tighter of a head than some of our other products in the lineup, but it does exceptionally well in terms of overall performance. So this is one we really need to be checking out in this market as we try to get those higher yield potential acres on grain sorghum. So another experimental we have is XG224. The 224, this is a 69-day full season hybrid with exceptional yield potential. This is a product that will be moving into our commercial lineup in the coming years. Moderate sugarcane aphid tolerance, but what really sets this apart is the elite yield potential that we have for this particular genetics right here. This will be a player in the South Texas market for those more productive ground, more productive acres that we have. Again, moderate sugarcane aphid tolerance, exceptional yield potential. Really exciting to add something of this caliber to our lineup and to see where it goes from here. So we've talked a lot about aphids. We've talked a lot about some exciting products, but the biggest thing we want to talk about is our new iGrowth program. And if you come with me, we'll take a look. And next, I'm excited to be talking to you about our iGrowth herbicide tolerant sorghum. This is a program that has been in development for many years and finally coming to commercial launch here in the US. We've launched this product in Australia, Argentina, and many other grain sorghum growing regions of the world. This is going to allow farmers to have a pre or post application of a grass and broadleaf herbicide in season. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 of our hybrids that we're going to be moving into a commercial launch coming this year, as well as talking about the new developments and where you can find more information as we go through the summer. We're going to have many opportunities for webinars, field days, and hands-on learning before we get into our fall season and then into next year's planting season. So first, let's talk about some hybrids. The first hybrid we have here is 1142. This is a 62-day to mid-bloom hybrid. It's a red grain, excellent yield potential, strong on dry land. This is a product that we have been testing in this market for about 4 years now, so we have a strong understanding of its performance potential. This is going to be a hybrid that does really well even when you narrow up the rows. It is broadly adaptable throughout the Texas grain sorghum belt. So throughout the coastal bend, 1142 is going to be a great hybrid for you, but it's also going to bring you a nice addition with the iGrowth technology, which is going to allow you to have that herbicide window later in the season. The next hybrid we have for you is a little bit longer season, 2177. This is a 64-day to mid-bloom red grain hybrid. Excellent potential, yield potential for its maturity class. It's going to be a broadly adapted hybrid throughout the Gulf Coast and South Texas region. Great yield potential, very strong yielding in dryland conditions, as well as some moderate sugarcane aphid tolerance. It's an excellent product for you to dip your toe into our new iGrowth technology and try it out on whether it's marginal ground or on your better ground. The next product that we have is our 2168. This is a little bit longer season than the previous 2 products we've looked at. It's right at 65, 66 days to mid-bloom. That maturity is going to give you a little bit more yield potential on these products. Great on dry land conditions, but really shines when you have better productive ground for it. Very strong standability, good head exertion, and a nice head size. This is a product that we're really excited to be bringing to the market because we feel it's going to bring not only the herbicide technology, but great yield potential for this market. 2193 is another medium maturity hybrid we are launching in our iGrowth lineup. This is going to be about 66 days to mid-bloom. It's broadly adaptable. And you've heard that a lot from the lineup. So a lot of these iGrowth hybrids are going to be broadly adaptable. They're going to have a big, wide fit. As we bring more products into the lineup, we're going to really dial in on certain geographic and regional environments. But the 2193, great yield potential. It's going to be a strong contender on more productive ground. It will yield through on dry land. We have trials here in the Lyford area on some tough dryland conditions, and it's proven to be a really tough hybrid for us. Overall, it's going to be our second generation and introduction of this technology. So this is going to be one that we have limited availability next year of, but all the other hybrids we're going to have a lot more availability of. But this is one that you're going to see in our trials next year as well as this year, but also see it in some public land grant trials with Texas A&M. This next hybrid we have is G1120. This is a earlier hybrid for us. It's about 60 to 61 days to mid-bloom in this environment. Very tall, big exertion out of the flag leaf here on this high production, limited irrigation ground. So it does get a little bit taller in this environment, but the grain head is semi-compact, it's red grain, it's very tough on dry land as well. We have it in our dry land plot here in the Lyford in coastal Bend regions. What's exciting about this one, just like our 2106 comes out of some of our Australian genetics, bringing a tremendous drought tolerant package. The 1120 also comes from some parent lines we've been working with out of our Australian breeding program that bring a tremendous drought tolerant product to our market, as well as bringing a very vibrant red color grain for those that are really looking for a product like that. This is one that's going to be broadly adapted from Tamaulipas, Mexico, all the way up the coast and into central Texas. This is going to be an exciting product for us going forward to be introducing the iGrowth technology. So what we have is 5 products here, and these are our first generation into the US market. But what we need to keep our eye on is that each generation that comes after it is only going to get better and better. So we encourage you to go out this next year to try this seed out, get it on your farm so you feel comfortable with these products. We're going to have plenty of data to show yield potential as well as overall herbicide program performance going forward. But always know that this is the future for sorghum, to have a herbicide tolerant component to the hybrids. So we're going to have many more developments coming forward. And finally, I just want to encourage you, as we go through the summer, we're going to have many opportunities for you to get out in the field, see these products for yourself, and get your eyes on how the herbicide program works as well as the hybrids performance. And coming on July 8th, we're going to be having our online webinar field day, virtual field day, featuring all of the iGrowth components. We're going to be working with our parent company, UPL, who is our herbicide partner in all of this. They are the 5th largest agricultural company in the world. So they have a tremendous understanding of herbicides and this market. So they're going to provide a lot of expertise. So tune into this webinar, our Sorghum Frontiers webinar in a partnership with High Plains Journal on July 8th. And we'll be showcasing all of the hybrids, all of the herbicide programs, as well as all the other products we've talked about today and how they compare to one another. And with that, I really appreciate your time. I know this is a trying change, having the virtual field days rather than coming out in person, but we're really excited to try something new here with Texas Agriscience and really get our message out there so you can participate even whenever you're not able to be in person. So with that, I'm Dr. Zach Eder with Advanta Seeds, and thank you for your time.
My name is Bill Rooney. I am a professor at Texas A&M University located in College Station, and my research and teaching assignments are related to plant breeding and genetics with a specific emphasis on sorghum. That includes sorghum as a crop, includes different uses ranging from grain sorghum like you see that we're standing in front of right here, through the forage sorghums, both grazing and hay types and silage types, all the way into alternative uses such as energy crops and biomass for conversion to ethanol or other types of products as well when the market for energy exists within the biomass world. So here on the Agriscience farm, we do some research work related primarily to our grain sorghum improvement efforts. And one of the things that I'd like to convey to the group who will be watching this is the role of the Texas A&M program within sorghum improvement and the delivery of improved hybrids to producers in Texas and throughout the United States and the world. We are a research institution, and so our primary focus is on the development of germplasm or new lines or new breeding materials that have unique traits or unique values that may be of value to commercial industry who are actually producing and deploying the hybrids that producers buy and grow. And so we do that for two reasons. One, because this is the kind of work that the companies often do not invest in because it's higher risk and not always going to develop something of marketable value. And secondly, we use the program as a platform to train graduate students in plant breeding and genetics so that the next generation of crop improvement specialists are around to work on sorghum or corn or whatever crop that they find gainful employment and interest in. And so the program is really a platform to do those two things, and through that platform and those graduate students, we actually end up doing the research on specialty traits or traits of importance to producers and end users and seed production specialists, as well as eventually producing and doing research on those traits so that we can improve the process of breeding and make it more efficient. Ultimately, what that does is produces material that has application in the real world. And so what you're looking at here and what we do as we evaluate material throughout the state at strategic locations is evaluate both the lines that produce hybrids and experimental hybrids that test the value of new breeding lines for their use either commercially or for research purposes. And so as you look at our program across the state, we have strategic locations laid out throughout the state where we do this evaluation. Where we're standing here in the Rio Grande Valley is the southernmost evaluation point in the state, and we evaluate both inbred lines and hybrids for their potential in this subtropical type of region. As we move north, we have locations in the Corpus Christi area, in central Texas, at our home base in College Station, and then up in the high plains in the Lubbock and the Amarillo and the Texas Panhandle area, all areas where sorghum is important. And so what we're looking for as we look at trials like these that you see here are agronomic attributes of performance. Does it flower at the right time? Does it have the right height? Does it have the right grain yield? Does it have the right disease resistance packages? And what is the quality of, in this case, the grain that's produced as we walk through that process? We accumulate all that data, and then we use that to make decisions both in our research program as to how to do things more efficiently, and then we also use it to offer new material to companies saying, hey, this has a unique trait such as sugarcane aphid resistance or anthracnose resistance or improved grain quality in a form such as, say, waxy endosperm. Those lines are then made available to companies who can use them in their own programs to produce the hybrids that are commercially grown, or they can use them for breeding to improve new lines that carry those unique traits that producers can eventually see in their program. To further that, we have research studies out here to test the applications of those types of things, and the graduate students that conduct those research studies come and take measurements, collect samples for further analysis to look at improving the process of the breeding programs. And so much of the information that we extract from a location such as this will be used for that purpose. One of the things that producers are often aware of but not visually seeing in many situations is where these hybrids come from. We all know that you grow hybrids of corn, of sorghum, of several other types of crops, but oftentimes you don't see the backdrop behind that. For a hybrid, you have to have inbred lines or lines that are the parent stock to produce those hybrids from. And the reason we grow hybrids in the first place is because of the concept of hybrid vigor or heterosis, that the hybrid will outperform both parents in a combination that is used to produce that hybrid. And to manifest that, you're looking at a couple hybrids, right? Hybrids in this area right here, the reds and the whites, and these reds as well here. To differentiate that from what you see with parental stock, you can come look at these materials to the left of that red hybrid there, and you'll notice that they're a little shorter. They're a little bit later, okay, in maturity. They're a little bit delayed relative to those hybrids. But these are inbred lines, and what you're seeing here in the difference between the performance of these two types of materials is that concept of heterosis or hybrid vigor. You get this increased kick when you make the cross between two inbred lines. We've known about this concept of heterosis for over 100 years, but to be honest with you, we still don't really understand what causes it. But we do know how to capture it, and when you grow a hybrid crop such as sorghum or corn, those are manifestations of the hybrid vigor. And so when seed companies are producing your hybrids that you grow, whether they be corn or sorghum, they're using inbred lines such as these to produce the seed on a seed parent that then is bagged and sold to the producer, who then grows the hybrid that you see to the left.
Hello, my name is Rick Hernandez. I am the Bayer Chemical FSR for South Texas. It's definitely a great pleasure to be here today with you guys and be able to talk about Warrant. Warrant is our encapsulated acetylcore product. Application methods for Warrant are behind the planter on cotton at 3 pints. We're really seeing some really great success down here in South Texas with it. It is an older product, it's been here for a while, but last year we introduced it and relaunched it again, trying to get growers to utilize the benefits of it, and mainly because of resistant glyphosate problems that we were having. And so because of this, we're able to control resistant weeds like palmer amaranth, ragweed, water hemp, and some of the smaller broadleaf seeds that are out there. Does a really good job. We're experiencing some really good comments from growers on applications. Of course, it can be used on cotton, corn, and on sorghum. We're getting different application methods on each one. On cotton, we like it directly behind the planter at 3 pints. On corn, we like it at spike with a quart of atrazine and a quart of Power Max. And on grain sorghum, we like 3 to 4 pints incorporated or over the top behind the seed and behind the planter. Once it's activated, really good residual. Very friendly profile. Because it's encapsulated, it's a slow release. This group 15 is a little different. It's not gonna give you that immediate shock or yellow the plant or speckle the plant. You're gonna get a very slow release and good control of 30 to 40 days on some of the problem weeds that we have here in the Rio Grande Valley. And so a look at a block that doesn't have any Warrant on it, and it's starting to get a lot of palmer coming through. There's a lot of grasses in here also, and also ragweed over there on the other side. So just one of the things that Warrant can do for you is definitely clean up this so these weeds don't rob your plants of your fertilizer, and then give you extra costs on other herbicides that you have to use to control these things. Most of these are resistant, so glyphosate is not going to touch them. A lot of people like to use glufosinate. A lot of people are frustrated with that because it burns it down and then it comes back. So get started early, keep them out, and Warrant's the herbicide that'll do the job. I'd like to talk a little bit about Savanto Prime. It's Bayer's class 4D, and although they did group us with neonicotinoids in the class 4, we are a 4D or butenolide, not a neonicotinoid. So that is one of the reasons that Savanto is a little different. We did get a really good safety profile on pollinators and also beneficial insects. So you know when you spray your sorghum aphids that you're not going to knock down the beneficials that are out there working for you already. 4-ounce use rate. This rate was discovered by Gary Swartzelos and myself down here before Savanto was released. We did that because it had a 7-ounce application rate, and we knew that rate was probably going to be too much and the cost was going to be a little high. So we studied and tested long and hard to try to find that 4 ounces for South Texas. And fortunately, we were able to get a 24C on it and introduce it at 4 ounces. That 4-ounce rate is going to get you approximately 21 to 28 days, depending on your thresholds and where you stand. If you have real high populations, we recommend 5 ounces. 5 ounces tends to last almost to the end of the season. But foremost, one of the things I'd like to comment on Savanto is that we also have our decab line of sorghum seed. These lines tend to be very tolerant to aphids, sugarcane aphids. So what we're doing there is we're trying to work with them, but unfortunately, because this has such good tolerance, we're not having to spray a lot of our decab lines. So the majority of the Savanto I'm selling in the Rio Grande Valley and the Coastal Bend goes on competitor varieties. So I would recommend growers, you know, we're there for you. We want you to use us. We've got a long residual, but we're a little bit more expensive. But we can guarantee that if you go ahead and plant a variety that already has tolerance to it, hopefully you won't have to spray and use this product, but we're there for you if you need us. Just recently we had a second wave of sugarcane aphids come in. A lot of growers have already power maxed and are killing their fields or drying down their fields to go ahead and harvest. And we started noticing that influx of a second wave coming in. Trouble with that is it binds up in the header. Everything gets sticky, so it tends to cause more problems. So we have a 14-day pre-harvest interval on Savanto. It's on the 24C. We're also really good at that 4-ounce rate, so if he wants to go and spray that, he's able to get in and clean up his field and then go ahead and go to harvesting. Make sure you check your fields, very important right now. A lot of growers are missing this application, and then by the time they know it, they're covered in aphids, and then they're having a little bit of trouble harvesting. Just a quick example of sugarcane aphid on sorghum. This variety here does not have any tolerance to it. It was not sprayed. It's over here by a brush line. So basically like a microenvironment. And we can see those sugarcane aphids just develop quickly. There is a ton of beneficials on here that I can see, but they just cannot keep up with this. So this would be a good example of if you get behind the 8 ball, this is where you can go. A lot of glistening leaves, everything's really sticky. Sorghum's almost ready to be harvested, so you definitely don't want to get to this point. Savanto is really good if you use it at threshold levels, and this is way beyond threshold levels. And if you do get into this situation, you can shoot up to a higher rate of 5 ounces, and it'll do a really good job for about 21 days on this kind of infestation. So resistance management is definitely important. So you're seeing the reason why. So definitely you don't want to keep applying the same product over and over and over, which I see happening a lot. You want to definitely flip over chemistries. What you're going to see starting with resistance is you're going to start seeing less and less days. Savanto is just a unique chemistry. We don't see any of that, so we're getting those long residuals, although we are a little more expensive. On situations like this, I think we would definitely do better than the competition.